Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to another movie review. And for this film I had doubts on because when the first trailer came out, I did a big rant on that. That was furious. But the second trailer came out, I enjoyed, and especially we all know what we're talking about, right? Because there's no need for it to tell who it is. But yeah, get right to it. Is saying that the second trailer, after all the backlash they got for the director, listened to the fans. Which he was a fan of. He listened to the fans and also give credit to Paramount as well. They redesigned Sonic. Everything paid out well. All the fans enjoyed the second trailer. And when the film came out, it made a big opening weekend. It broke with like 50-some million. It broke Detective Pikachu's opening for the biggest debut for a video game movie. But as for me, Sonic the Hedgehog, as you see, I got the poster. I did my previous videos. I enjoyed Sonic. To me, and that's an issue in a nutshell. I thought at the end of it, it all paid off. It was all worth it, and it paid off well. Because fans were looking forward to it, and they liked the redesign of Sonic. It looked much better, and at the end, it paid off well. So yeah, I enjoyed the movie because one of the main reasons, Sonic, he was the star of the movie. It's not like what the Transform movies, where mostly it's the human characters are the stars, not the Transformers of their own movie. Which that was also Paramount as well. So, but yeah, Sonic was the star of his own movie, and Ben Schwartz, I was like, him. I wasn't too familiar with the guy. I remember him. He played that character. What was that? In Parks and Recreation, he was Aziz Ansari's partner in his business. So, but he voices like him, voicing Sonic. But overall, I think he did a good job voicing Sonic. He does. I thought he did a good job voicing him. Now, to me, I wish that part of me was like, I wish it was Jaleel White, because that would make it cool. Because the cartoons were I enjoyed both the cartoons. Yeah, I enjoyed the more darker, serious version of the cartoon better than the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, though. But because Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog is more of a goofier, funnier show. But Jaleel White voiced Sonic in both the shows. But I always enjoyed the darker tone, action-packed cartoon better, which was called just Sonic the Hedgehog. And Jim Cummings, who I met at the Silicon Valley Comic Con when he voiced Dr. Robotnik in that show, it was cool that he did when I met him, not only for voicing Winnie the Pooh, but in Tigger too, but he also did a Robotnik impersonation as well to me. So I was like, that was really cool. You can check out my little video of when the picture of me meeting Jim Cummings. He did a good job voicing as Dr. Robotnik in that show. But I enjoyed the movie, and it's already one of my favorite films of this year. Well, there's been quite a few films that I did not like. Well, Doolittle for one. This film is much better than Doolittle, and this film and Bad Boys for Life. Those are the two films I like so far that I like this year. Bad Boys for Life and this film. But and the design of Sonic looks very well. Seeing more on the movie, he looks very well done. I don't know why. I understand why the original design was a good. People had a good idea to make that original abysmal trash design. I don't know what they were thinking. This here, a lot better, very well better. That is Sonic right there. And in the film, and the thing is though, not only was good looking, and it had a good heart to it as well, and some of the humor I did like, although there was a fart joke in it, which I didn't. You know me, comes to fart jokes. But thankfully, that type of humor was like Not in the rest of the movie. There was like that one fart joke. That was it. Yeah, although, yeah, I do not... There was a one they could have left out of the movie, though. But other than that, though, a lot of the humor I thought was pretty decent. I got a couple chuckles out of it. As for the human cast, James Marsden, I thought he did a pretty good job in this film as the character Tom. I thought he worked well with... His character worked well with Sonic. And of course, how can you forget Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik? Now, when I first heard that he was cast as Dr. Robotnik, I was like, really hit him as Dr. Robotnik. But and when it debuted in the first trailer, it wasn't much though. But in the second trailer, growing okay. And when I see him fully more in the movie, Jim Carrey, I thought he did a pretty decent job as Dr. Robotnik. Now, like I said before, how he was before he acted in this role, like he was trying to capture like how he was from back in the 90s. And then that he had that like that sort of charisma or energy to him, and I can see that. And he was also trying to play serious as well, while mixing that up as well. But Jim Carrey, I thought it's been a long time since he's been made a good movie. Or like how long? Since? Well, the last film I saw him in was Dumb and Dumber 2, and that was god awful. It was a god awful sequel. But even before Dumb and Dumber 2, what else? And then afterwards. So, absolutely, probably this is the best work he's done in a very long time. Yeah, this is the best work he's done in a long time, and it showed that he was really aiming to do this role as Dr. Robotnik, and he did a really, for the most part, a good job as Dr. Robotnik. So I commend Jim Carrey for that. It's the best work he's done in a long time. So I give Jim Carrey kudos for that. And what else? Yeah, it was mainly James Marsden and Jim Carrey that were for the human cast. The girl who played was James Marsden's wife or girlfriend. She was there. She was there. But speaking of with the story, how it opens up like of course with the Paramount logo. Instead of the stars, it's the rings, and the intro, for the company Sega, it showed not only the Sonic game but all the different Sega type games, which was cool because right next to as they're showing, the Sega logo, but it shows Sonic the game, and as it zooms out right over here, there was the game of Golden Axe, which was cool because me and my brother loved playing Golden Axe. So from this game set from the Sega Genesis. Not only Sonic, though, but Golden Axe and Streets of Rage, Revenge of Shinobi. Those are great games. Me and my brother loves growing up playing on the Sega Genesis. So it was cool. It's like, oh, cool. There's Golden Axe right there. That's always been a cool game. And then it opens up with him and his world, which I would like to see more of his world. To be honest, yeah, I will. Even though he's on Earth, which is like a typical thing. There was aliens always to be on Earth though, which is typical though. But I wanted like to see more of his world, which the world he was in is the first level of the first game, the Green Hill Zone. Like he's doing on the loop-de-loops, and when he crossed the ledge, the edge of the ledge will collapse, which was cool to see. And you see Baby Sonic, which that was like cool. Seeing a baby Sonic, that was kind of a neat thing to see. And then there's this owl character, which I've probably never heard of, because I had never heard of this character, or probably it's a new creator for the movie, probably. Like, this owl character that was looking after him, and then gets attacked by this tribe, which, if you look closely, how the characters, even though they're under clothing, they're wearing clothing, though, masks to conceal themselves, but if you look closely, their back end, the back of their heads, they're echidnas, which that was Knuckles, reference to Knuckles, Sonic and Knuckles. Okay, now that was another cool reference as well, because there's a tribe of them, but I would like to see Knuckles as well, because that's what Knuckles is. He's an echidna. But okay, your reference to Knuckles as well. That was cool. And then then also was like, ooh, then because Al got shot here, but then she opens up a portal with the rings, to Earth. She tells her to go through it, and then he wanted to go back, but of course it closes before it gets to her. So I guess I feel like she died from the tribe because she was like standing, like a last stand for her for Sonic. And as 10 years later, Sonic has grown up. He's living his life on Earth in a cave. He has all this stuff that's, like a radio and a beanbag chair and other stuff like Flash comics. And also it was another cool reference to Sonic 2, where he's playing ping pong and there's like a street the street sign, or he's playing on the ping pong table, and it's Hilltop, which is a reference to the 5th level of the second game of Sonic 2. That was another cool reference as well. And he's wearing this hat. He wears this cowboy hat, which I think that was another reference from I remember where was it a movie? Was it an animated movie? I forget that Knuckles, he wore like a cowboy hat from one of the older movies. I think it was an anime movie, but I remember seeing that Knuckles, he wore a cowboy hat. So that there's another reference there, Easter egg as well. And then when he saves his turtle from getting run over, which is another reference, because when you during the games you hit the little the enemies, the little robot things that you hit that bop and they explode, and animals come out and they scurry away. There's another reference there where he saves an animal from being run over, a turtle. And he's taking the turtle through the forest. You got Queen, Don't Stop Me Now playing. Which that's like the 4th time I've heard Don't Stop Me Now in a movie. I mean, because, granted, Queen's Don't Stop Me Now is a really good song. But that's like the 4th time I heard a movie, because the first time it was Shaun of the Dead, and then Hardcore Henry, and then Shazam, and now this movie. But I'm referring to the song "Don't Stop Me Now." I know you've heard Queen songs in other films as well, but I'm talking about "Don't Stop Me Now." Which those are films I did like. I love Shaun of the Dead. I love Hardcore Henry. Shazam I did like, a DC film that I did like. I did like Shazam. So like this movie. So I guess next film, if Don't Stop Me Now is in it, I should like it, right? Because 4 films had that song in it I liked. So, and then he's like, the thing is, he is a bit lonely though, but he's like spying on other, especially our main character, like pretending he's not there. He's like hanging out with them, but when they don't know he's there. That's what I'm trying to say. But he would like to have a friend because he's lonely. And I thought it was another cool thing that he's watching James Marsden and his girlfriend, or I think it was his wife, because the wife's the girl's sister mentioned spells out the word divorce. I guess they're married. But he's watching them. They're watching Speed with Keanu Reeves. I was like, oh man, that was cool. They're watching Speed, which is quite funny because. How they get the rights to that, because Speed was 20th Century Fox. So I wonder why I got the rights for that movie, because that was 20th Century Fox and this is Paramount. But it was cool that they were watching Speed, the scene where the bus blew up and like down top of her, pop quiz hot shot. And it was cool that Sonic's like, Keanu Reeves, you're a treasure, like that. So yeah, he likes Keanu Reeves. That was cool. And then, of course, as he was walking away, when he was feeling sad because he was lonely, you look at the TV again. They're also the couple was also watching Naked Gun with Leslie Nielsen as well. You can tell because he was it was at the end of the movie where he was in the baseball field. So yeah, okay, that one was Paramount, but that was another cool one. I liked the first Naked Gun movie. Rest in peace, Leslie Nielsen. And then. But he was doing the baseball, of course, in the trailer. He was at the baseball field. He was doing all this by himself, playing all the positions by himself. But then realized he has no one to high five with. Then he's running around the field, and it causes a big electrical surge or a power outage. And that's when the government brings in Dr. Robotnik, Jim Carrey. And then you get that one, which I was like, really, he's only in for that one scene. You know, in the very first trailer with the abysmal, shitty design. But when Jim Carrey comes in talking to that one soldier, he's like, nope, wrong, I'm in charge. That soldier he was talking to, that's Neil McDonough. Neil McDonough, you know, he was he's been that the DC shows, you know, as that character. I forget the character's name, but my brother, he watches those shows. I don't. I know he's in that show. He's one of the villains. But in the films, he was in. Of course, he was in the MCU when he played Dum Dum Dugan. I know he's been in other movies like he was in the shitty Hitcher remake. He was in Star Trek First Contact. But he died though. But you recognize him, Neil McDonough, and I was like, yo, he's in that one scene, and after that you don't see him again. I'm like, he was in that just for that once. So that first time, that first trailer, when he was talking to Jim Carrey, that's the only time you see him in. Neil McDonough. I was like, really? After that scene, you don't see him again afterwards? Okay. Well, I'm not that big a fan of the actor. Although he was decent when he played Dum Dum Dugan, though. But overall, I'm not that big fan of the actor. But I'm saying he was only in that one scene that was in the trailer. So if you watch that first trailer, that's the only scene he's in. We're talking with Jim Carrey, and that's it. And then Jim Carrey, eventually, when with Jim Carrey sends his drones. They're onto Sonic, he goes and hides with James Marsden, tranquilizes him, but he gets his rings, then he drops his bag of rings in the pyramid building in San Francisco. And then Jim Carrey visits his home, and you do get a funny line, which I got a chuckle out of. Explain when Jim Carrey was talking to James Marsden when it's like, I was spewing out formulas when you were spewing out formula. And then James Marsden goes, I was breastfed. And then Jim Carrey goes, nice. Just rub that in my orphan face. I did get a chuckle out of that one. And then Jim Carrey finds the quill, takes it with him after they get away. And then when they were on their way, they stop at the bar. And I think you said you get a fun scene where they get in this bar fight, and then Sonic pulls, Quicksilver, Quicksilver, from the X-Men movies with Days of Future Past and Apocalypse when he was running in slow-mo, everything's being still. He does pull that to make everybody, tiny, like give him a guy a wedgie or make him punch one another or whatever. So you get that scene. It was a fun scene. And then you get the fight. You get the chase on the highway with one of Robotnik's robots. And then, of course, when Jim Carrey was in the trailer, it's like, "Oh, give me a big fat break." But then eventually he gets hurt, takes him to where his wife and his sister is. All he needed was a smelling salts, and he's I gotta go fast. And then the daughter, the kid gives him the red shoes, the shoes that he's always wore in the games. The red shoes. And so they go to San Francisco, they go to the Pyramid Building, they get on top of that, and then it's when Robotnik in his hovercraft, he always has when in the games he had a hovercraft. So, and then that's when Sonic calls him Eggman, because that's another name. Dr. Robotnik was also called Mr. Eggman. So there's your game reference right there, Eggman. But to me, he was always called Dr. Robotnik to me growing up. So, but I get the name Eggman though. But to me, he was always Dr. Robotnik. And then that's when he pushes them off the building, sends his ring to teleport them to somewhere else, back into their hometown, would you say? And that's when there's reference from the game when Sonic, he falls, he lands in a tree. When he falls down, his rings scatter, like in the games when he gets hit, he scatter, his rings scatter. You have to pick him up because that's like his lifelines, right? So there's your another cool game reference right there. Then he's chasing through San Francisco, teleporting from China, the Great Wall of China, to Egypt, and then back into to Green Hills, which is your reference to the game, the first level of the first game, Green Hills. That's where James Marsden was living. And then Sonic, he powers up, and then I guess when you get another reference to the game, he's hitting the hovercraft. In the game, you hit the hovercraft until it explodes, so you get that reference as well. And then ultimately, or like when he curls himself into a ball, like he did in the highway. Actually, I mentioned he curled himself into a ball to hit the truck. Same thing here. It hits the Dr. Robotnik, and it sends him to the Mushroom World, which he originally wanted to go to if he was caught. Which the Mushroom World, which is a reference in a level in the Sonic and Knuckles game, for I remember, the Sonic and Knuckles game, the Mushroom World. And then he decides to make this place his home now. Of course, when when James Marsden denies the commander that what blue thing doesn't exist, so it was funny. He gives him a gift card to Olive Garden because earlier in the movie he mentioned Olive Garden. So yeah, gives him as a reward. He gives him a $50 gift card to Olive Garden. So, but then he makes Sonic his home up in his attic. It took all the stuff from his cave and put it up in the attic. And then by the end, with Jim Carrey, of course, now he's stuck in the Mushroom World. You see him now with his bald head, and then the big mustache that Dr. Robotnik has in the games. Bald head and the big huge mustache. And you see him walking. As he's walking, he's like this, walking like a robot. I think there's another reference as well. He's walking like this. Your reference to the end of the Sonic 2 game, the Death Egg level, where he's in that giant robot version of himself, and how the way it's walking. I think that's also the reference from that as well. So from Sonic 2, the end of the last level, Death Egg, he's walking like the robot version of him at the end of that level. And then during the credits, it's like they made during the credits the scenes like it's from the original games. That was a cool thing. And then after the credits, you stay afterwards. Tails comes in. I was like, even before that shows up, it's like they have to bring Tails in this somehow, and yes, they did. Tails, and I think it's from the same voice who's voiced Tails from previous games of recently. If I look it up. Yes, Colleen Villard voices Tails from the video game series since 2014. So she's been voicing Tails from previous Sonic games since 2014. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, but that was okay. That was cool as well. But yeah, it was cool to see Tails. I just knew they had to bring in Tails because since this film was a hit, I know they're gonna do a sequel. Because same with Detective Pikachu, because they already had even before Detective Pikachu came out, like months before it came out, they already started developing a sequel. And I know since this film was a hit, I know they're gonna make a sequel. Because you bring in Tails, I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with Tails. So yeah, and hopefully in the sequel. If they do make the sequel, hopefully we see more worlds, and if that's like from the games. Although I wonder, if you're gonna have him be on Earth, here's a cool reference that they could have made. How they're traveling to get to from Montana they were living in to San Francisco. They were at a bar. They were like during the way during their cross country to San Francisco, like they could have stopped like a casino. You know, like see Sonic what a casino looks like. That would have been a reference, you know, to Casino Night from Sonic 2. I thought that would have been a cool reference, because if you visit the casino, I would instantly know, oh, I know what they're doing. This is from the level of Casino Night. That would have been thing. That would have been a cool a reference, you know, if they're going, if have them on Earth and they're traveling to San Francisco, have them stop like, oh, what's this? What's this? A casino? Yeah, there's a reference to Casino Night, you know, if they would have played the theme if they were in that. So, but that would have been a cool reference though. But hopefully, if they do that when they do the sequel, not only with Tails though, but have more references to the game, the levels of the games, like more like the Spring Yard Zone, the Marble Zone, the Chemical Plant Zone. Well, you referenced Hilltop and of course Green Hill, but what else? The mist or like the oil ocean zone, or the aquatic ruin zone, like Casino Night Zone. Yeah, so but just reference like more of the levels, or see more of the world from where Sonic came from, like the Green Hill Zone. And of course, if you've got the tribe, hopefully you know introduce Knuckles as well. But yeah, I enjoyed the movie. Besides, oh yeah, if I forgot to mention, yeah, when I mentioned that fart joke, you know the reason why, which I did not like, we could have cut that out. I hate the fart jokes, I said, but thankfully that was the only one. They didn't continue doing that kind of humor throughout the whole movie, which I appreciate. But the reason why he farted because he had a chili dog. Yes, a chili dog, because that's the thing that Sonic loved. He loves chili dogs, even from the cartoons, even mostly from the Adventures of Sonic. You know, he likes to eat chili dogs. But it was also referenced in the other cartoon as well, Sonic the Hedgehog, the darker one too. He likes chili dogs. So yeah, there's your other reference as well. He likes to eat chili dogs, but it had to be messed up by a frickin' fart joke. That's a nitpick though, but I can let this slide because I enjoyed the movie as well. But still, should not do no fart jokes at all though. But yeah, that was also reference as well, chili dogs. But yeah, but Ben Schwartz, I thought he did a good job voicing Sonic. Like I said, I wish it was also Jaleel White as well, because that would have been a cool reference as well. But Ben Schwartz, he did a good job voicing Sonic. And the look of Sonic was really well made. He looks like Sonic, and let alone he's the main reason he's the star of the movie. It's not like most of the movie focuses on the human characters. No, it's mostly Sonic. He's been the star of his own movie the whole entire time. And James Marsden, I thought he did a good job. Jim Carrey's Dr. Robotnik, I thought he did good. It just showed like he did have that energy, like how he was back in the day, mixing with a little bit of seriousness as well. And especially how the way he looked at the end, like with him being bald and with a big huge mustache. That's Dr. Robotnik. With also wearing those glasses. He also wore those eyeglasses too. But all the Easter egg references. The most of the movie felt it was pretty consistent with its tone. It wasn't like more out of place tones. It was, and it kept stuck with one. And the film had a good heart to it. I definitely see it had a heart to it. Especially, the heart was definitely in it because all the time they put into, especially redesigning Sonic and how the way the film is. So, and the director Jeff Fowler, this was his first debut as a director. He did a pretty good job, especially when I give credit where he listened to the fans after that abysmal design backlash. He took off from the original's delay in November last year to Valentine's Day, so to redesign it. So he did a good job, not only actually for that, and he did a good job with his movie. And I also gotta give Paramount the credit too as well. So, but yeah, so I think it was well worth it. Like I said, it was well worth it. It paid off all at the end. The film was a success. And hopefully we'll see a sequel with Tails. It was cool to see Tails during the end. Which, by the way, I did see when I saw the theater. I got this cool cup as well to put popcorn in. So yeah, I like getting these type of souvenirs when you go to movie theaters. So It was cool that I got this cup here too. I got the poster, which was good. So yeah, it's already one of my favorite films this year. Because, you know, being a big fan of this character, of the games growing up, me and my brother grew up playing the games. Well, I mostly did the game playing. I love Sonic 1 and 2. I like number 3. I played Sonic and Knuckles a couple of times, but not often, though, because I played the first two mainly like a million times. I love the cartoons. Adventures of Sonic I like, but the darker one, the action-packed one called Sonic the Hedgehog, I enjoy a bit more. I didn't really play more of the later, newer Sonic games. I know there was one like Sonic Unleashed. There was one with that one he was turned into like a werewolf type of one. And of course there was the one from 2006. I never played, but I saw clips of that was all the bad reviews it got, and yeah, I can see why. But yeah. But the film itself, I enjoyed, and this is already one of my favorite films this year. This and Bad Boys for Life. So yeah, I'm glad I was wrong on this, because I was having doubts because that stupid first trailer almost ruined it for me. But thankfully, when they listened to the fans, the director, and the redesign for the second trailer, there was hope. There was still hope for me. So, and Sonic looked like Sonic, and he was a star of his own movie. Not like from the freaking Transform movies, which was Paramount. They screwed up on that, and I'm glad. You know, and especially speaking of fast, the film went at a good pace as well, so that's why. I think it went too fast for me. I think it was supposed to be the whole point, but yeah. But that's my review of Sonic the Hedgehog, which, as far as video games movies I've seen, well, you see my review for, well, this movie is easily better than any Uwe Boll movie, any of his bullshit movies. This one was 10 times better than each of his movies, like Alone in the Dark, which you saw, that was my previous review. 10 times better than Alone in the Dark. Better than freaking Blood Rain, and The Name of the King, House of the Dead, which that was an insult for me because I loved the House of the Dead game growing up. I played that a lot too with my brother. He likes that movie. He likes House of the Dead. I don't. Uwe Boll is just... Learn from this. God, oh, actually, no. Don't. I take that back. If he learns from this, he'll probably end up screwing that up too. But yeah, I enjoyed Sonic the Hedgehog. I give it a thumbs up. One for the kudos to the director, listen to the fans, and redesign the whole thing, and kudos. The other one I give for the whole film just paid off well, I guess. Like I said, Ben Schwartz was good as Sonic. Jim Carrey, I thought was pretty good as Dr. Robotnik. James Marsden was good too. And seeing Tails in there as well at the end, so I'm looking forward to seeing the sequel. Hopefully I'll mess it up though. Hopefully they keep it just like this, and just leave out the fart jokes. You don't need that in there. Although thankfully it was only that one time though, not throughout the whole movie. Well, that's a lot though. But thanks for watching. That's my review of Sonic the Hedgehog, one of my favorites of this year. Thankfully. Which I had to be surprised. I think it was not going to like it after all the backlash I got from the first trailer. But thankfully, from the second trailer and seeing it all the way through, I'm glad it proved me wrong on that. So yeah, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next movie review. Later.